Greetings and salutations again, everyone. It's been a while, but I'm going to make a Zane build now. I tested this build a while ago on Guardian Takedown and it works, even though they nerfed Zane's clone. However, today is Thursday, so this build might not work after I upload this video. The reason being is that it's half-fixed day, so I'm going to have to apologize if this build does not work, but it's a Zane build. You don't have to worry. But obviously, as usual, I'm disabling Overkill, Combo, and Hollow Point because, you know, they don't show you any good damage, they just add extra stuff. But let's go over the skill trees. It's a clone and drone build. Big shout out to Evil Assassin, by the way. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to figure out this build in the way that I have. It does good damage. And it solves a couple of problems that Zane has. The only tip I have is find a way to regen ammo like a Cupper's Fish Slap or a Super Soldier, or use a specific anoint. But I'm not going to go over the skills. There's 5 points in Donnybrook, just to let you know. Because I'm using the Seeing Dead, obviously, it's Zane's best class mod, why wouldn't I use it? But as you can see, this is what the build is for Orange Tree. I've got, you know, being able to get rid of the clone and which one's wheels, you know, make the clone draw aggro. Don't have any points in green because it's green. Then blue. Blue is pretty much Zane's bread and butter. Now you may be noticing something that I don't have defaults close. You can take it, but I'd rather not. You see, a kill skill bonus being 25%, yeah, I do lose a bit of damage from it, but I get a lot more out of this build in general with that. Obviously, you got valid momentum, stuff like that. I've got 1 point in lifesteal because, as I've said, 1 point in lifesteal is still too much. Also, it looks like they. Oh, wait, never mind. The reason I only have 2 is because of, you know, defaults close. It would be like 5% if I had defaults close. But, you know, that's why I use on Fane. I have only 1 point from the class mod in Violent Violence because I don't think extra fire really helps. I honestly just put all the points into plain dirty because it's basically like Flax 2 Fane where it doesn't consume a bullet. And then I have 1 point in Good Misfortune because of the Seeing Dead, that keeps your kill skill up for a long time. It's pretty simple. Next up, get a critical kill, you gain 1 bullet. It's an awful skill, to be completely honest, because it doesn't work with Seeing Dead. And you have to kill an enemy to get 1 bullet back. Meanwhile, the Call's weapons exist and you can get a crit. That's just how it works. You could have health regen, but I've said before in my previous videos, health regen doesn't matter because of lifesteal. And then increased accuracy and handling. Zane doesn't need accuracy and handling. He really doesn't. Husband hand because extra critical hit damage, and then action skill cooldown weight and gun damage. Like, why not? Then you've got the Art of War and Erasure. That's to take out very specific bosses. So some bosses Zane can struggle with because he does enough damage, but he runs out of ammo before he can kill them. Erasure just fixes that. But we got static fields because shock beam, drain shields, stuff like that, and bad dose. That's pretty much what the build is, and that's just how it works. There's a common sense Zane build with a little bit of extra stuff. Oh yeah, weapons. Oh, here's the weapons. Ignore these because they're just from Guardian Takedown. EMP5 is same thing as before, I guess. Yeah, I think I'm supposed to get a Super Soldier. But I've got light shows in every element. With, like, consecutive hits, action skill active. Honestly, I'd recommend changing the anointment. And I probably will to, like, change it to the one where Zane gets extra stuff. Where he gets ammo regen, basically, because it helps him not have to reload for a while. I have a flipper with elemental quest, a reach because with a reach it breaks some of the bosses in the game, a revolter. I know what I said about the revolter, and honestly if I could I'd swap for a super soldier, but I don't have a super soldier yet. Zane dead obviously, which it kinda has some bad rolls on it. I recommend get a better one, like weapon damage. Firelight speed, because why not? And a pearl because Zane makes really good use of the pearl. Simple as that. Do I have any evolve cards? I can't do evolve cards. Maybe I can get a super soldier. We just need one more key. Yeah, I can get a super soldier now, so blink. Now we have a super soldier. Unfortunately, it's not going to have a fin on it, but that's fine. Okay, that'll help out with the MP5 extra movement speed. But I'm gonna do the same thing as before, but I'm gonna end the recording and speed up from this point on. So I'll see you guys at the final boss, I think, this time. Because, well, I might just show the first boss, to be completely honest. We'll see what happens when I get to the first boss. And as you can see there, I had no issues going through Guardian. Just gonna open up this chest. Ignore the amount of iridium I have as well. I did download this character a long time ago and it just had this iridium on them. But the gear has been farmed legit. I can guarantee that. But now to fight the boss, and in the first fight I was saying stuff, but I had my mic muted. Basically what I was saying is that Zane doesn't have many issues with Guardian Takedown. In fact, I'd recommend him as a character to do Guardian Takedown as, if you just want to have fun. And the only things that he falls flat on is ammo. Like ammo and ledges, because pretty much, like I said, With lifesteal, there's no ways that enemies can kill you unless they push off a ledge, which is what Guiding Takedown is designed to do. Like, that's all that this fight is meant to be. It's supposed to be that the boss knocks you off of ledges. But that's why they also have the things here, like the orb guys, to do a ton of damage to itself. But during this fight, just don't be towards the fast travel station. That's all you have to do. Like, this fight I'm not going to have many issues with. Because that's just the way the Zane is with Guardian Takedown. The design allows him to do it. As you can see, the clone nearly died there, but the clone is fine. They did nerf in a way that the clone used to have lifesteal. It would both heal itself and you, but now it doesn't. But that's completely fine, because I think the clone having lifesteal was a bit too much. Granted, I think lifesteal's a bit too much anyways. So the clone can't die now, and that's kind of when Zane's story, so he's kind of turned into a pseudo Flak, I want to say. But if you know your clone, you're panicking. Same with Flak, if your pet's down and you go down, you're kind of worried, because Flak and Zane both have ways to get up with their action skills. Well, not action skills for Flak, but, you know, pests, basically. That's simply how it works. You know, like, I could speed up this fight, but I figured why not just go through it. But again, huge shout out to Evil Assassin being patient with me and giving me his build as a sort of basis. Because he's the one who told me all about Zane's kill skills and stuff like that. I know it's common sense now. But Zane was the third character I played, so by this point in Borderlands when I played him, I kinda didn't care. I was just doing my own thing and trying to learn them as I go. So obviously I wasn't the best Zane player, but people helped me out with that. And the whole purple tree thing, that's just something I learned. Like with the ratio and that, because it takes care of some bosses as Flak. I know you see it everywhere now. The Flak can one-shot stuff like a Psycho Weaver. But before those videos were out, I figured it out. I just didn't make a video on it because I figured it was common sense. Everyone was going to figure it out. The reason I'm making a Zane build now is because I didn't have the motivation to do it earlier this month. I just simply didn't because I know Zane can go for Guiding Takedown. There's not much in the game that can stand up to Zane. Like, if there was a boss that drained his ammo, I guess. But the thing is that if they do make another takedown or anything like that, it won't matter because if Zane is trouble, everyone else is not going to be able to do it. Except for maybe Amara, because Amara is good at takedowns. Like, in terms of Marvin, she's as good as Zane because she can get the crystals done maybe a little bit quicker, I want to say. Hey, good spawn again. I'm getting lucky with this spawn. Like, genuinely, I don't know why I'm constantly getting this spawn. It must be like a solo thing. But it's handy. But yeah, there's just not many problems I can find with Zane. He's kind of a character that has everything. And if he doesn't have anything, you can find a way to give him something he doesn't have, like ammo regen. I could take a specific annoyance on Zane that he has. And it'll be fine for ammo as long as I have a super soldier. Even if I had a super soldier, he'd be fine. And then for ledges, like being Zane's biggest weakness and the thing that kills Zane the most, I would just say use common sense and just move away from the ledges. Understand the missile fight, you're probably not thinking that, but after a while you do get used to it. I'm playing on mouse and keyboard, which, you know, is not the best thing for learning to avoid ledges as. But this fight is pretty much over now because, as I've said, I have enough lifesteal to survive the fight. And you could say, well, get rid of the lifesteal. It's Zane. Why would he get rid of the lifesteal? He's a character that pretty much benefits from it. So why get rid of a skill that he's going to like? From this point on, I'm just going to use the root, because I think you can hit this boss to get an erasure shot at him. Nah, that was the orb, guys. But of course, I will show Psycho Weaver, but you guys know I'll be able to kill Psycho Weaver. I'm just proving it. And yeah, the fight is pretty much over. Like, I don't even have to call out my clone, but I might as well. Like, I could finish the fight without the clone, that's for sure. This will just take care of some mobby stuff. Obviously, I would say wait the Zane build, but here's the thing: Zane is the only character in Borderlands 3 that can use any gun that he wants. You probably could as other characters, but if you're watching this video to figure out Zane build, then I'm kind of worried. Because it's just common sense, basically. That's all you have to do. Wow, there's some really bad loot here this time. Well, let's travel to Faint Creek's Mind. I have to equip it down, of course. Like I would say, use this build as a basis, but this build is all you need for a Zane build. I don't have as high damage as some of the other Zanes out there, but I think Death Falls Close is a terrible skill. Well, I don't think it's a terrible skill, I think it's an optional skill that you don't even have to worry about. The reason being that well, the reason is simple. It's just you don't need the extra 25% kill skill stuff. Sure, you can get extra projectile, extra move damage and stuff like that, I think. Like, you can get more movement speed and all that, but you don't really have to worry about it. Now, is there anything else I recommend for this build? If you really want to take the piss and make a build that makes you immortal, get a carrier, or a multi-tap, or any Atlas gun that spawns extra projectiles. Because that literally just makes Zane an immortal character. Because if you really want to, you can take a carrier, and that'll make it so your kill skills will always stay active. Well, not your kill skills. Well, your kill skills will stay active, but it'll make your action skills last forever. I've done it before, and it is funny because you could give your clone a specific weapon. Now, is there anything else I could say about Zane? You guys probably know about it, but you can give yourself an Unforgiven to boost your clone's crit damage, and the clone prioritizes crits. So if you really wanted to, you could be an absolute dick. And you could take a Hustler with a Backburner, give your clone a Backburner, and then you swap to an Unforgiven. Your clone will land a shot, and honestly, it was one of the best strategies to take care of Psycho Weaver here. Like, it would pretty much speed run the fight, and this boss is pretty much known for giving Zanes just a little bit of trouble sometimes. Not much trouble, but it was a boss that Zanes would rather not fight. But then, of course, the ratio came out, like after that. Although it doesn't seem like the is working properly, because the Psycho Weaver's helmet should count as like multiple layers. Oh, there we go. There you go. Let's say you do the Psycho Weaver fight during the second phase, and as you saw, first phase was not a problem. May as well see what he dropped. Plus ultra, yay, I guess. Kinda, I don't know what to exactly say about it, but that's the Zane build. As you can tell, I don't sound enthusiastic about it. That's because it's a Zane build. Like, anytime you see someone killing stuff, is that Zane? So, obviously any Zane build is going to work as long as you use common sense. Hence why I'm calling this the common sense build. But, next up is Amara, which I can go for guy and takedown, so I just have to figure out some stuff. And I'll be making that video next. And I'll see you guys during the Amara video. So later.